Alright, I'm gonna make this video quick because I gotta get something uploaded here. I had this video recorded a few times, but it sat in my camera for a while and just got stale, and the video just, you can tell it wasn't a fresh video. With snow on the ground and whatnot, and now being springtime, it just didn't make sense to upload it like that. So we'll have a better look at the car now that there's less snow. But here is the Caviller after its run at the winter show this year. Yeah, she's not too much different. I started doing a little bit of work to it since bringing it home, because we do have a show planned. That's why I'm making this video, because there's going to be another aftermath probably by the end of the month. So if we can get this car back together properly, then we'll make the show. So before I get too far along with that, let's do the aftermath. So the sheet metal, not too much is different. We got one good shot right here that pushed the door in just about level with the rest of the body now. Has not came too far inside. I mean, the door itself has, but structurally the car is all there still. Since looking it over now, I have noticed that this bar actually broke the welds up here in the front. The trunk lid hit that, and it just broke that weld completely, almost out. So I did weld it bubble gum, middle of winter, freezing to death. So I mean, it is what it is. It was a really thrown together scrap pieces of metal cage, just so I could say I had something to keep the floorboard in it any more than what I can do, you know, because it's about the end of its life on this car as far as the back half's concerned. As soon as I get this nose to bend, it's getting chopped up, because I can keep running it, but at this point everything's just in the protector. It's not going to go much further as long as the welds hold. But with that being in mind, now I'm going to go over every single weld before the next show and get better welds on it. So back end looks exactly the same, other than the back bumper is now starting to invert right here and rip, but it's pretty much in there. It's still exact height and everything. I did pop that donut tire, but it doesn't matter because I'm not changing them at this point. We did paint the door white since bringing it home, but this door was a little bit worse for where I actually pounded it back straight. That was flipped over and up against here. I'm gonna go over this car and do some patch welds along the door seams, because that's the only part of the body that's not blowing out yet, and the doors are starting to blow inward, which is fine because the protector, but the sheet metal is going to start tearing from the doors and the inner skins, and basically it's going to open up the compartment, and that's not safe, because then you can have a bumper come through and be inside the car with you. So we're going to do some patches on the doors and at least plate it up below. She does run. Right now I don't have a battery in the car. I have my booster, but so the reason I don't have the battery in right now, or any battery, is if you look down at my battery box, it looks a little funky on the floor. I ripped the bolts out of the floorboard, and actually I'm almost all the way through on the last bolt. So that's another thing I gotta redo, is plate the floorboard itself and put some bolts back into it, because where I have the holes drilled right now ripped through. I think that was because the two were close to, one was close to a seam, which was just like glued together seam, and then the other one was close to the drain plug on that side. So I think the only real one that was holding was the drain plug, and they both just let loose. So that was about halfway through the consi when I found that part out. I wasn't too worried about it because, I mean, it wasn't going anywhere. The box was holding it, but it wasn't going to be much longer before it broke loose. Other than that, this car is ready to go. This is going to be its 7th run going on this car at the next show, and it's really just, it's time to get a new cavi built up. Like, I love how this thing's been performing. I love how this motor and trans has been performing. This front end has been spectacular. People told me like this was a stupid idea with the bumper, leaving it out so wide and so tall, but it just worked out on this car really well at the last show. And for what the rules are for mod, I mean, I think I'm solid suspension now, but still, the height on this thing is ridiculous. I think I'm sitting roughly 30 inches in the front, if not more. But I want to keep this video short, so we're going to end it here. But hopefully when you guys see this car next, it'll be the pre-derby video and showing the car before it goes out for the heat. But we'll see you guys later. Take it easy. Bye.